and welcome to 150 follows! Oh god, this is not how I wanted to celebrate it. Alright, we are on chapter 25 of Tailor Tales, and I heard that there should be about 28 or 29 chapters, so at our current pace we should be finishing this up today. But if it turns out to be especially long, we're still gonna finish this up today. We are going to finish this. I swear. Anyway, hi Tuxedoji and hi Bad Luck-kun. Thanks for coming. Here to see this through to the very end? Well, show us what you got, Neil. On Saturday, me and Neil are outside of Angela's apartment and she's standing next to a taxi, loading in her luggage. So today's when she's finally going to rehab? Aw, I'll miss you. Don't look so sad. It's not like I'm leaving you forever. I promise I'll be back, Pumpkin. Aw. Angela blows a kiss at Neil. You two should get married instead. Neil visibly recoils. It's not that. I'm more worried about the people you might drag into your schemes at rehab. You don't have work for 11 hours until now, so you could probably stay till the end, but only if it's effortless. Yeah. And remember to use those 11 hours for rest, Tuxedoji! Schemes? What schemes? I'm leaving it all behind me. We definitely believe that. I pull out the present me and Neil bought for her and hand it over to Angela. This is from the both of us. We hope you take your time over there. Please. Please, as much time as you need. Years even. Decades. Oh, you're both so disgustingly sweet, it's giving me cavities. Quit it, you guys. Aww. Please don't do anything rash over there. Don't fool around with the pool boy. I joke. Freya. When it comes to Angela, I'm not entirely sure it's a joke. Don't worry, I'll sleep with the bellboy instead. Just leave already and get back all better. Well, since someone doesn't want me around, I guess I'll have to go now. I can't miss my flight anyway. I mean, you're rich, so you can always reschedule, right? Angela finally opens the door to the cab and sits inside. She rolls down the window to talk to us. Don't forget to water my plants for me. Oh no. Although your plants are made out of plastic. Thanks to the both of you. I'm gonna miss you. See you soon. Hopefully not too soon. Please don't do anything to warrant me being woken up at midnight because you got involved with law enforcement. Hey, that's what she should be saying. Right, Mr. Runaway? Bye, darlings. Ta-ta. She turns to the driver and tells him to go to the airport. The car engine starts up and slowly the car starts to move down the street. There she goes. By the way, guys, I forgot to tell Neil's parents that you two aren't getting married, Angela! Neil starts to run after the car. What do you mean? Whoopsie! Peta? Angela. She pulled another Angela stunt, letting us know at the last possible moment that she didn't tell Neil's parents, and now we're still stuck in this pretend marriage jam. Angela will be gone for who knows how many months, and she's definitely not going to own up to her idea and confess, even though she promised. Well, what are we gonna do now? Guess there's no choice but to get married. Neil displays a wide variety of emotions, mostly conflicted and worried. Same. Murder her when she gets back? Obviously, but what about right now? What if we'll have another run-in with your mother? He walks back and forth on the sidewalk, thinking about the best course of action, until he stops in front of me and sighs in defeat. I'll tell them. He sounds so lonely that it breaks my heart having to face his parents all alone. Oh, it's okay, Freya, he's a big boy. To clean up his cousin's mess. I feel like I can't let him fix Angela's mistakes all on his own. Hi, Chris! Welcome! Angela forgot to tell Neil's parents that we're not actually dating. So, I slip my hand into Neil's and give it a slight squeeze. And I squeeze harder. And I keep on squeezing. No, we'll tell him. Neil stares at me in disbelief, but then a small smile spreads on his face and I can feel his fingers clasp around my own hand in return. He turns his head to where he last saw Angela disappear around the corner. Alright, that's what we'll do then. Oh, he's not resisting. That's a good boy. Keep it up, Neil. And then maybe we won't stab you. Oh, just kidding, Neil. We would never do a violence. You're too rich. It would end up on the news. I lean my head against Neil's shoulder. Yes, we can take them on together. At the very least, Neil deserves someone to be his moral support. We stand there, hand in hand, staring into the distance, relaxing in each other's company. We are just standing there on the sidewalk. I hope that at least we're letting people pass us by. Well, it's your day off, right? For once, yes it is. Do you want to come over for dinner tonight? Oh? Oh? Yes? Depends, how good are you at cooking? I can make eggs. Are you insinuating I'm bad at cooking? I'm just gauging whether or not I'll get food poisoning and if I should order some takeout instead. You should order some takeout anyway. You have enough money for that, right, Neil? Right, Neil? If you have such little confidence in us, right? Are you that worried I'll poison you? Dang, he's got his guard up. Wouldn't put it past you. Fine, don't come. Neil swiftly leans into... Ah. His lips brushing over the tip of my ear. No, I'll comb. That's my weak point. I'm dying. He gives me an all-knowing smirk and then finally starts walking away from me, getting inside of his car. This is why I poisoned my ears. No, Tuxie. Remember how that worked out for Hamlet Sr.? I watch him drive off, left behind with all kinds of thoughts. He's not coming over for dinner, huh? I asked him out for dinner, and Neil said he'll come, and then he just plain left. My heart is suddenly making flip-flops in my stomach. And now our kitchen. I take the apron off and stash it away somewhere. I don't pay much attention to details at the moment. Neil is coming over any minute now, and I've been slaving away in the kitchen preparing a really nice meal for the both of us. I may or may not have checked out some romantic recipes for two online. I even bought some red wine. Your VR kitchen is cooler. It is cooler. I made some corn milk. It's where I pour a bunch of milk into like a pot, and then I boil the milk, and then I put some corn in it. Corn milk is all you need. I look at the bottle sitting on the kitchen counter, and I quickly take a sip from it. I'm kind of nervous. I've never had Neil inside my kitchen before. I mean, he's been to Clovercliff before, but never in my private quarters. He was close to getting into your private quarters, though, wasn't he? The dish is broiling in the oven right now. It's some delicious corn milk. It's almost done. Something, chicken and pasta. I can't even remember what I threw in there anymore. I've been too busy making sure everything else is perfect as well. Everything has been cleaned and set up to display a nice and cozy mood. I opted out of candles. That one seemed like I was trying too hard. It's dark outside and I'm dressed up in evening wear. It's a habit that kind of stuck since Angela kept insisting I dress up whenever we'd have dinner together. Did Angela keep taking her to fancy places? She doesn't really seem like the sort. Chicken and pasta is generally pretty safe. Yeah, especially really good when seasoned with lots and lots of soap. Hopefully Angela is having fun at her destination right now. Not sure if fun is the right word, but you do you, Angela. The doorbell rings and my heart jumps inside my throat. Ooh, he's here. Quickly I check to see if my outfit and hair look good, and I buzz him in. I can hear footsteps walking up the stairs, and I open my front door to let Neil in. Oh? Good evening, Freya. She must have meant soup? Oh, soap soup is also really good. Yeah. Like, you take a bowl, and you pour in some chicken broth, and then you add salt and pepper to taste, and then you add some hand sanitizer, Just like a couple pumps of it. Like maybe 2 or 3. Or if it goes by seconds instead of pumps, like, I think maybe 1.5 seconds. Delicious. Gives it a punch. Good evening, Freya. Hi. I don't know why I'm suddenly all tongue-tied right now. Neil casts his eyes downward toward the ground. You look nice. Oh my god, he just gave us a direct compliment. Who are you? I can't tell if he's forcing himself to say that or if it's a genuine compliment. Either way, it embarrasses me, because I definitely wasn't expecting that. Thank you! Who are you and what have you done with Neil? I step aside to let him in. Dinner's almost ready. Just let me serve it. Please take a seat. I leave Neil in the living room to fetch the casserole dish out of the oven with my oven mitts. Ooh, casserole. It's been a while since I had one of those. Balancing the heavy dish in my hands, I make my way over to the dining table. Neil is already seated, keeping uncharacteristically quiet. Freya, did you set this so that you would be sitting next to each other? And staring out the window together? His eyes follow my every move as I scoop up some of the casserole and serve it on his plate. When I finish with my own plate as well, I take a seat opposite of Neil. Where? Enjoy? Neil takes the cutlery and eats his food like a perfect gentleman, just like he did when we went out for dinner at that fancy restaurant. Have you heard anything from Angela yet? I don't think she cares much for keeping in touch, so don't expect her to say anything until a week or so has passed. Thanks, Angela. Oh, I was just wondering if she arrived safely, that's all. Neil takes the napkin next to his plate and dabs it against his lips. Dab. She arrived in one piece. He does that a lot, actually, smiling when he's talking about Angela, even though she can be quite a pain. I mean, I'm guessing that she does it too, though. Which brings me to my next question. Have you figured out how to tell your parents we're not really getting married? Neil stays quiet for a long time, doing nothing but munching on the casserole. It's excruciatingly slow. I'm going to talk to them directly. So not gonna break it to them through text message? He lets out a deep sigh. It occurs to me that I can't keep relying on Angela to do her part, so I will be honest to them myself. And I'd like for you to be there too. Aww. Of course. I'll be there. I won't let you face them on your own. Neil's body relaxes and he gives me a genuine smile. I've never seen him with such a kind expression before, so I avert my eyes from him, finding myself a little breathless. Really, who is he? We eat together in silence for a bit, but it's not an awkward silence and there's no tension hanging in the air. For once, I'm silently enjoying Neil's company, and I never thought I'd live to see the day. Just say you broke up, right? It's, alright. Oh, wait, though, what if Neil's parents are vengeful, so if we say that we broke up, what if they ruin my business? I guess that's a possibility. What is the food? It's edible. Ah, so you have chosen death. Are you complimenting my food? Perhaps. What is with him? His tune and his dere, they fluctuate way too much. What triggered this, Neil? What triggered the sudden soon? When you were so nice before. Why were you dere about the dress and not soon about the food? This is not tsundere. There's gotta be a clear flip. Gotta be a clear switch. Neil. Neil. Give it to me straight. Are you two halflings in a trench coat? Take off for the rest of your days, then. Neil is complimenting me, and he's being adorably bashful about it. It's not the best compliment in the world, but coming from Neil, it's probably the most earnest he can be. He was earnest earlier! You know, when he complimented your dress. Neil's love language is quality time. It's literally the only thing, which is why he hangs around like a thirsty skeet. Oh, come on, at least compliment me for real. Put some effort into it. I'm putting all the effort into this relationship, Neil. Neil tries to glare, but his cheeks stay pink, making him seem rather harmless and cute instead. Your home cooking is adequate enough for my exquisite palate. Why all the fancy words? Can't you just admit you like it? Can't you just admit you like me? You know, so we can properly reject you? I like it. I'm glad I invited him over for dinner. Otherwise, I'd never get to see such a side of him. He's being so complacent for once, and he's not giving me any snarky responses. It's almost like that time at the masquerade. I thought Neil was some flirty stranger, and we made out on the first date. Remembering that just makes me realize Neil is capable of showing a nicer side of him. To even be able to hand out compliments without doing it through gritted teeth? I mean, he kind of did it through gritted teeth. To be able to actually converse with me? It's a strange thing. To sit here having a meal with Neil, and we're both being civilized. Perhaps this is how things could have been like since the beginning, if he weren't such a jerk about it. After all, we met when we were kids and got along just fine back then. Oh, the room suddenly goes pitch black. Freya, did you forget to pay your power bill? None quarter. All the lights have gone out. My entire apartment is covered in darkness. Your power went out. Street lights are still on, so I believe it's just you. Did we forget to pay our power bill? You are prettier than a hemp sack of smashed fish, and kinder than a piranha divorce lawyer. You're more cuddly than a cactus. Great, I don't even know why. I get up from my chair, putting my hands out in front of me to be able to feel where I'm going. At the same time, I hear Neil getting up as well. Oh, please don't be leading up to a scene where he falls over me and accidentally pins me down. Ooh-ah. A fuse was probably blown. Where's your electrical panel? It's downstairs, behind my workroom, I believe. I take a few steps forward, but can't really see much. Now I kinda wish I used the candles for mood lighting anyway. A bright light shines into my eyes. I squeeze them shut in response. Did I just say squeeze? Squeeze them shut in response. Don't shine that in my face. Oh, that's right. They have cell phones, don't they? He's holding out his cell phone and using the flashlight setting to illuminate our surroundings. Come on, let's fix it. Neil starts to leave the dining room, and I follow him, a bit surprised he's taking charge like this. We reach my front door, the one leading to the staircase, to go downstairs, and Neil is the first one to open. The door bangs against the cardboard box behind it, causing Neil to stumble forwards with too much force. Oh no. What a tragedy. My heart stops beating once I see his cell phone fly out of his hands, and all I hear afterwards are loud bangs as Neil rolls down the stairs. Ling! The loud bouncing stops. The cell phone is lying face down on the floor at the bottom. I can't see if he's okay. Oh no, he died instantly. Neil! I can hear you. I'm right here, idiot. Wow, thanks. I can see that you're really grateful for our concern. Well, that was a fun stream. What's next week? Oh boy, I have things planned for next week. I almost jump out of my skin when I realize Neil's voice is right next to me. But how? I thought he'd fallen down the stairs for sure. But then... It wasn't me that fell down the stairs. Some heavy box he had hiding behind that door did, along with my cell phone. Wait, it's probably broken. Are you gonna make us pay that back? I feel around the dark with my hands until I make contact with Neil's arm. I grab it and link my arm with his. That scared me. Don't do something like that. Staying quiet. I don't want to take another person to the hospital again. Oh no, that's actually really sad. Taking Angela to a hospital was already one too many times in a lifetime for me. That really frightened me. It's okay. I'm alright. Come on, take my hand. It's hard to see. Yeah. Now if you fall, we both fall together. I suddenly feel Neil's hand pry my arm away from his, then slip his fingers between mine. Oh, jeez. Intertwined fingers? Already? While we're alone at home in the dark? He gently tugs me towards the edge of the staircase, and we both walk down till we reach the ground floor. Neil picks up his cell phone that's lying next to the cardboard box and checks it for any defects and scratches. Well, there's an obvious one that can't be missed. His entire screen is cracked. The flashlight setting still works, though. Why do my personal belongings always seem to get broken or ruined whenever I'm near you? It's what you deserve. I bring bad luck? That checks out, though. Usually he'd have insulted me 3 times by now, blamed everything on me, and stormed off, right? But now he holds my hand as he tugs me along through the dark, not saying a word. Wow, his hand feels warm. It's proof that he's alive. Point me in the right direction. And we're glad to have bad luck. That's right. Thank you, Bad Luck-kun. I step in front of him and open the door at the back, where my electrical panel is located. Ooh, dark. I open the door and we step inside the small closet. It's pretty cramped in here with the 2 of us. Neil is too focused on opening up the panel, so he drops my hand and he hands over my cell phone to me. Here, shine a light. Shine, shine, shine a light. I give him some light as he checks what's wrong. There's a bunch of switches, and I honestly don't know which one is which. You didn't check when you moved in? I haven't had any trouble with the electricity yet, so I never really had any need to know. You should check it when you move in, okay? Okay? To everyone in here? You should make sure that you know what each electrical switch does. At least that's what I learned. Wait, is that not common advice? Like, is that not common dad-daughter advice? I don't know, maybe it's different overseas. Because this is in Europe, right? Since they use pounds and say ground floor. I'd sing along, but I only know the reprise. Yeah, that would be a problem. I'm surprised Neil seems to know what he's doing, though. He checks every single switch until he flips a big green one on, and suddenly I can hear the whirring of electricity spring back on. They use euros in this, I think? Did I not say euros? Did I accidentally say pounds again? The lights in my boutique spring back on. Well, that was surprisingly simple. It's back on! It sure is! It was probably your oven that brought it down. You may want to buy a new one. In my joy, I wrap my arms around Neil from behind him and stand on my tiptoes to give him a smooch on the cheek. No! Thanks! Neil jerks back, his cheek catching fire, and he looks at me in shock. No! You have cooties! I stare at him, wondering what's with the extreme reaction. I mean, you'd think that we'd have learned that Neil doesn't like to be touched by now. He rubs the spot on his cheek that I kissed. Sneak attacks aren't allowed. They're illegal? Mm-hmm. I see. So we gotta take him by surprise, huh? Then I lean backward suddenly, pivoting him over my hips, his head colliding with the floor and stopping my own motion. Well, honestly, Neil, I didn't think you had it in you. When you mentioned you pay someone to clean your apartment, I figured you wouldn't even know what an electrical panel is in the first place. This seems to turn Neil's face even redder. Oh, this is so much fun to see him squirm in front of me. I'll have you know, I had to help out Angela quite often with her electricity. I'm the one she calls whenever something went wrong. I may be rich, but I'm not ignorant. Are you sure about that? He roughly takes the cell phone out of my hand. I know he's acting all indignant right now, but I can't help but feel that it's all for show. He's not really offended, or even angry that his screen has got a giant crack in it. I'm sorry about your cell phone. I can offer to pay for the replacement screen, I suggest. No, that won't be necessary. It's not your fault. Besides, that's what I have insurance for. Who are you? Neil continues to surprise me. He's not blaming me for once? Why are you looking at me like that? No, you're not blaming me? Is that what you expected? No! I'll gladly start pointing out all the things that made it your fault if it pleases you so much. You already said it's not my fault, can't take it back now. No take-backs. Has anyone ever told you can be quite grating on their nerves? Ah, really? I guess that's something people tell you a lot? No, just you. I don't believe that for a second. What about you, huh? How many people have told you that you're a jerk face? This time he's glaring at me. Is that supposed to imply something? You can't deny you do act like one, though. In a second, Neil's hand is gripping my arm until he pushes me against the wall. Ow. What do I do? I'm lonely. Mo, gaman, dekinai. Don't go. At least turn the lights off again. Magnets aren't hot. Oh, that's right with his tongue. Hang on, hang on. Look, his tongue is there. Are you guys taking in the tongue? I miss tongues. I didn't even do this for Luke except for special occasions. No! Oh, they're going back in! When Neil changes his position, something behind him falls over with a loud bang, interrupting the moment. Okay. Neil is quick to remove himself from me, and he turned his body around to see what hit him. It was the broom, wasn't it? Broom's a bro. Please, can we get a really chaste kiss? Just a really, quick peck on the lips? A really loving one? That doesn't turn into makeouts? Just a really, really quick, soft, gentle reminder of love? Oh, but they haven't confessed their love to each other yet. It's broom hot. You okay? Yes. I want to continue kissing. No, I really do not. Freya, I should leave. Don't look at me like that. I need to do something important tomorrow. I can't stay. Aww, what a shame. I can't help but feel rejected. Things were definitely leading up to something here in the basement. Neil lowers his eyes and he ushers me out of the small room so that we can have some space to breathe again. Out on the hallway, he looks at me, staring into my eyes with a gaze full of questions and uncertainty. I see my own feelings reflected onto them. Then, Neil finally breaks eye contact. I'll contact you when I figure out when we can meet my parents. Right. Well, thank you for getting my electricity back. Don't thank me for that, even a child could do it. Neil, are you implying that we couldn't? Just let me thank you, okay? Because we really couldn't. As you wish. I almost feel a sense of dread having to say goodnight to him now. It all went by so fast, my emotions for him are still so in turmoil. But one thing is clear. I want Neil dead. Is it wrong of me to want to stay with him longer? Good night, then. Neil hesitates for a moment, staring into my eyes. Make me feel weak in my knees. It's like he doesn't want to leave, just like I don't want him to leave either. You're riding in the Chevy and you feel something heavy. Except he finally forces himself to give me a curt nod. Have we murdered Neil yet? Almost, but not quite. Good night. Neil finally leaves my boutique. I touch my lips with my index finger, still feeling it tingle with the sensations. Please, please, at least confess before making out. I'm left to wonder about what it all means, where this is all going. What if things are going to end between us after we have a talk with his parent? Oh my goodness, thank you so much for the bits, Leo, and welcome, Glyph's office. Welcome. Wait, had another makeout session with Neil. And, I prefer not to kiss Neil, but if we're going to, I would prefer it not constantly escalate to making out. Thanks for the mint chapstick, it really does tingle. Anyway, here's the hush money when you need it. Wow. Whole $1. Suddenly I feel anxious about what's going to happen next. Oh, that's the end of the chapter? Alright. A client! Is it Neil's mom? Ah, myself for a family dinner. Oh, that looks nice and wholesome. Okay then. A nice little sweetheart with a flower print. A rose print to be exact. Love my dress? Thank you! It's really cute. It's based on Dreams and Stardust. Is it this? Yeah. Okay. And this also has the flower pattern. Waist has a pink band. And the top sleeves are these pink straps. This it? Okay, and since it's a dress for myself, I guess I probably need to wear that. Wait, I don't have the... Oh, I don't even need to wear it. That's kind of inconsistent, but okay. Angela is somewhere on the beach enjoying her rehab vacation, but me, why is that in quotes? I'm sitting next to Neil in a very expensive limousine heading towards his parents' estate. Their personal chauffeur is taking us to their home. 2 days ago, Neil contacted his parents and got invited over for dinner. He decided it would be a good time to break the news to his parents and asked if I would like to join him as well. Since I already promised him I would be there when he revealed the engagement was fake, I simply said yes. Are you ready, Neil? Are you ready to tell them that they got pranked? And that's why I'm here, in a fancy car, sitting next to an equally anxious-looking Neil. My nerves are killing me. Neil? Hmm? Neil turns his head away from the window he was staring out of. How are we going to do this? Should we just say it straight from the beginning? Before dinner? Or do you want to wait after dinner? I vote for after dinner. Or perhaps when we're walking out the door so we can shout it at them as we're leaving? The Angela method. Stop your rambling. I can't concentrate on my thoughts if you keep talking. It's not like you're the one driving here. Well, what exactly are your thoughts? I know I said we'd tell them together, but we haven't really decided on how we were going to do it. And before I run my mouth off at dinner, I just want to know what your plan is. You think they're engaged the way they're discussing breaking the news? Have a nice dinner with his parents to announce that you broke up. Say it when everyone's having a drink. I'll tell them, you'll keep your pretty little mouth shut and let me do the talking. You think I'm pretty? Oh man, jokes aside though, that is super not how you talk to your love interest, Neil. You would be failing this dating sim. Don't say that. Say what? That pretty little mouth comment. We're not really engaged, Neil. I am not your trophy wife. Don't worry, no one would ever mistake you as a trophy wife. I'm not in the mood for your childish bickering. And how about you zip your lips? Your voice is a nuisance to my thoughts. I really don't get how they decide when he's going to be rude and when he's going to be sweet. My anger flares up. Now listen here, if you do not watch what you're saying, I'm going to go out there and give them a piece of my mind regardless of your wishes. That's not what you want now, is it? Neil grunts at me but otherwise keeps quiet. I fiddle with my fingers on my lap. I'm on edge. Woo! Neil's on edge as well, and it's not a good combination because apparently we can't do anything but say nasty things to each other like this. Ah yes, just like the good old days. 2 days ago we were civilized and I feel like we made some progress with each other, but as soon as we're both stressed we fight like cats and dogs. I don't think that this is a very stable relationship. Neil, I am going to isekai myself just so I can pilot Truck-kun right into your face, isekaiing you in turn to the world of I was reborn into literal heck and everything is pain forever. Finally, Neil speaks up. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. He's apologizing. He sighs, a worried expression gracing his features. I'm stressed and nervous. I have no idea how my mother will take the news, nor do I know what will happen to me afterwards. Aww. Look, he's properly self-reflecting. I don't want to touch him. Words it is. Don't worry, I'll be here too. You're not going to be alone. Aw, you get front row seats to this disaster. Yeah, and I brought popcorn. Or more specifically, corn milk. I snort in response. We drive the rest of the way in silence, which reveals itself to be deadly to me as I keep thinking of different scenarios in my head, each one worse than the last. The scenario where Neil's dad just pulls out a shotgun. When we finally arrive, I look out the window and I'm blown away by the huge mansion in front of me. Where? The front yard is twice its size! There's even someone tending to the yard by shoveling snow out of the path. What snow? I'm feeling intimidated by the sheer size of the property. It really is a good visual representation of their wealth. And I'm going to make these wealthy people very angry. You didn't tell me they lived in a mansion. What do you think they lived in? A shoe? My parents are wealthy, you know that. Wow. Wait, it's winter? Yeah, this is like, I think sometime in January or February? Since we had Christmas last time, right? Or am I misremembering? Am I getting my Otome games mixed up? I hurry up after Neil, a bit afraid he'd leave me alone in these unfamiliar surroundings. Wow, that's a rich-looking couch. Oh my god, they have a fireplace! The front door is large and painted red. When it opens up, we both enter the receiving hall. Welcome back, Master Neil. Neil nods his head at him, and we both walk further into the hall. I am practically glued to Neil's back. You have servants! I mean, yeah, did he mention that before? Freya, can you contain yourself? Stop commenting on every little thing. Well, excuse me, princess. I'm sorry, I'm nervous. Just being here gives me the chills. I follow Neil as we enter a different room, what appears to be a large lounge area, and I see Evelyn seated on a white leather couch. I almost want to duck behind Neil as I see her, but I swallow my nerves and stand next to him and said as we approach her. Is he gonna tell her now? Or is he gonna wait until dinner? I have no clue regarding what Neil is going to do now, so I decide to keep quiet. Time to install a few more fireplaces in this mansion if you get my drift. Oh yeah, I get your drift. I get your backdrift. Backdraft. I got the wrong word for that. Anyway, I'm gonna commit arson. Neil, Freya, welcome. Oh my, you both look a little pale. Are you famished? We're fine, Mother. Just a little tired from the trip. I stand awkwardly for a few seconds, then quickly sit down next to Neil. The white leather feels cold to the touch. They can afford white leather and to keep it clean. Everything in this room looks like it has a minimum price of my yearly salary. I've always known Neil was wealthy, but I guess it never really got through to me until now. Neil likes to walk around instead of drive, and he goes to coffee shops and drink coffee. He doesn't have his own chauffeur driving him around or a butler preparing his drinks. He's never actually flaunted his wealth in my face like I expected him to. It's made me forget he's from a rich background. With how he's dressed? Even the logs, Freya? I mean, maybe it's wood from an endangered tree. The uncomfortable silence stretches on, and I'm growing restless. Nice, butler? Freya, you should be, complimenting the butler directly. Neil gives me a dirty look, honestly quite deserved, and I imagine his voice clearly telling me to shut up. I lower my head and look down at my lap. Which servant, dear? Was their service unacceptable to you? Their service was excellent. Freya is simply not used to having them around. She's middle class after all. Now it's my turn to give Neil a dirty look. You know, Marcus and I have not always been living the dream. Are they really, how do you pronounce it? Novu rich? Because they sure don't act like it. We had to work long and hard for our careers, for our ambitions. Sometimes that meant scraping by, choosing whether or not to buy groceries or go hungry that day. And they're still acting like this? My son, he's never known such hardships. We worked hard to provide him that kind of life. Well, that's certainly true. You have nothing to worry about, Freya. As a woman coming from a similar background, we welcome you with open arms as our future daughter-in-law. Ah, that's actually, pretty unexpected. After all the sarcasm about our boutique. And, about the degree. Oh god, I just want to die right now. She gave me her blessing, but I am not actually getting married to Neil. Neil hides his face behind his hand, short of words as well. Oh god, save us. Where's father? He sounds really tense, but who could blame him? Probably in his study. He's always working. Subconsciously, I place my hand on his lower back. Now's not the time, Freya. In an effort to give him some sort of courage, I lean closer to him and whisper in his ear. Don't drag it out, Neil. This is getting worse by the second. I have something to say to the both of you. Oh, is it about the wedding? I suppose that it is? Can you call father? There goes the servant. Please go. You don't want to see this, Jeeves. Have you decided on a date? It's alright if you want to wait a year or two, you know. Young couples do wait a lot these days. I cringe at each word she says. She really is looking forward to this wedding. Can we wait until the both of you are here? It's important. Certainly. We anxiously wait as time ticks by, sitting there uncomfortably on the white leather couch, whereas Evelyn is browsing on a tablet. When we finally see Marcus emerge in the doorway, we both sigh out in relief, before tensing right up simultaneously. Now for the hard part. What's going on, boy? I hear Miss Marsh hasn't been able to reach you for the last couple of days. Have you been Did he lie about having work off? I didn't realize Neil was missing work. I thought he said he had the day off. He lied to us. Tell her to mind her own business. You're right, Neil. This is my business. Literally my business. Who do you think gave you that job? I can't have you coming and going as you please. This has gone on long enough. Darling, don't you think it's time for you to turn the other cheek and perhaps give Neil some time off? He needs to spend some of it with his fiancée. Wah! So that he can go off gallivanting with this art girl and let him think he can do whatever he pleases. Let it poison his mind. Blah blah bootstraps. Blah blah. Fire him, Marcus, right? Like, you worked hard. Shouldn't you be teaching your son hard work through, not handing him a job and not keeping him on the job when he skips out on his job? Shouldn't you be encouraging him to try things and fail? Art girl! No, you've been poisoned long enough already by that inane cousin of yours. It's time you entered the real world, the corporate world full of responsibilities. No more slacking off or dodging your duty because that's what this is, son! It's your duty! Neil is uncharacteristically quiet. He's clenching his hands into fists, but his head is turned away from his father. Avoiding my eyes, he isn't saying a word. I'm appalled at his father's words. Seriously, art girl? Is that all I am? How did these two get married? Duty. You've had your fun in college, you wasted some precious time getting that good-for-nothing bachelor degree, and now your head is full of nothing but useless art images. It's time to put all this behind before you disappoint me any further. Neil hangs his head down. He still hasn't said anything at all. I can feel my own anger bubble up inside of me, marking my cheeks with the color red. Oh, look at Evelyn. Oh, what if she punches him first? Would that be cool or what? You're a man now, Neil, and men keep their word. Don't make me cut you off entirely and leave you to fend for yourself. And perhaps you should find someone more suitable for you to marry. This art girl will only succeed in pulling you astray even further, and I will not tolerate it. Marcus, don't talk like that to Neil's fiancé. Admit it, girl, you're solely doing this for the money, aren't ya? Oh, yes, you must have really thought you hit the jackpot with my son coming from a wealthy background. Well, I'm not gonna let someone like you take advantage of that. Punch, 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 punch. Excuse me? Excuse me, sir? So you've chosen death? Can't believe we're about to commit murder in the good ending. Oh no, he just fell down the stairs, like father, like son. I look him straight in the eye. Despite being similar to his sons, his hold none of the warmth that Neil's possess. Neil has warmth? Aren't you ashamed to say such vile things about someone you barely addressed 2 words to? And for that matter, how dare you speak to your son in that way? He's your son! Freya! No, I refuse to back down. Exactly, he's my son. Don't you forget whose house you're in, Missy. No wonder Neil's trying to run away from you. You are absolutely terrible to deal with. At least your wife is civil enough to be happy for your son. Good, because I wasn't going to marry him in the first place. Oh, honey, please don't say things like that. Marcus, calm down and stop yelling. You're just making things worse. Freya, just... No, I am going to tell them. Tell us what? Oh my, why don't we all simply calm down and drink some tea? Yeah, and I'll have some vodka in mine, please. Neil and I were never engaged in the first place. It was a sham. Does this mean there won't be a wedding? I'm not in it for the money, and I wasn't fooling Neil. We were both pretending. Freya, come on, let me explain. No. Shut up, Neil. I'm not engaged, nor am I planning to get married. We lied. Ah. Oh. Well, that's... Do you even want to know why we were pretending? Wait, are you Neil's beard? Honestly, it feels like it. Angry that he's being so dismissive toward me, I stand my ground. The only reason why I pretended to be his fiance was so Neil would not have to work so much. Because that's what's going on. You're overworking your son to a point where he collapses from exhaustion. That's not a life anyone should have to endure. Sweetie, is this true? Wait, Evelyn didn't even hear about the hospital thing? Shouldn't your son's health be more your concern? Shouldn't you care about his health and his happiness? Working for him makes him so miserable that he'd rather hide from you. I don't need your chauffeur because I'm leaving myself. I'm not going to stand here and listen to the awful things you say about Neil. I am sorry for the intrusion. And then I take a whole 15 minutes to walk off their lawn. I give Neil one last look before turning around and heading straight outside. Well, I think that could have gone better. All right. Oh, they made a winter variation for the park. Stop for a potty break. Eventually, my feet lead me to the park. It's already dark outside. The air is cold and snowing, and Neil didn't even try to stop me as I walked out of his house and walked back home when we had to take the car there. I mean, you broke up with Neil, and I don't think they have a case to sue you. That went as well as it could have. That is true. I sit down on one of the benches to collect my thoughts, trying not to pay any attention to my shivering. What did I do? What did I do? We called an Uber. Did we wait patiently on their lawn as we called an Uber? I yelled at Neil's father in front of everyone, but he just made me so mad I couldn't stand it. You did good, Freya. The way he talked about me being some kind of gold digger, and the way he talked about Neil. Seeing Neil there so defenseless and defeated, who in their right mind could have kept their mouths shut? Neil is a flawed person, and there's more vile words coming out of his mouth than anything positive, and he undermines us, and insults us, and negs us, but fundamentally he's not a bad person. And he definitely did not deserve to have his father talk to him like that. That part is true. There is no way I could have kept my mouth shut after seeing someone I care for being abused like that. I had to speak up. But now I'm pretty sure I ruined everything. Neil is obviously going to side with his father. After all, he didn't speak up. I don't know why I got my hopes up. My phone buzzes, making me jump in my seat. Where are you right now? I sit there with the phone in my hands, contemplating whether or not to tell him. Should I even reply? I sort of stormed out of there and left them all behind, and Neil for sure is going to yell at me, or something along those lines. I'm unsure of everything right now, even of my own feelings. They're a bit of a mess right now. At the park. The nameless park. Right there, incoming. Oh, great. His Majesty is coming over and rain his wrath upon me. That's not grammatically correct, but that's okay. Who knows what kind of speech he has prepared to scold me for yelling at his father. I bury my face into my hands. Oh God, I yelled at a really powerful figure. What if we're banned from the hospital? Sitting all alone at the park, it's really starting to sink in, the things I've said. On the other hand, I'm also kind of proud that I've said them. You should be. The urge to stand up for him was too great, and I entirely lost it when Marcus started insulting me as well. There was no way I was going to let someone walk all over me regardless of their status. Either way, I can't take those words back, and I don't think I want to either. He had it coming. Now, all there is to do is to wait for Neil, I suppose. Have fun! Ghost him! Snow continues to fall around me. About 10 minutes later, I hear someone approaching. Their footsteps stop in front of me, and from the instant lack of snowflakes, I assume there's an umbrella over my head, just like in my animus. I know it's Neil, so I don't bother looking up. I'm suddenly finding it very fascinating to stare at Neil's shiny, polished shoes. My heart is in my throat, and I cannot find the energy to say anything anymore. That was the craziest, most ludicrous thing anyone has ever done for me. And I have Angela to compare to. Neil places his hand on top of my head, petting my hair. Wet. But I guess I was waiting for that kind of crazy all along. I look up at him, my eyes wide in surprise. He pulls my hand back before taking a seat next to me, making sure the umbrella keeps the snow away from the both of us. I'm glad I tore your dad a new one, but that doesn't mean I want to date you. Bye! You're not mad at me? I didn't say I wasn't. You've got quite a mouth that likes to run off on its own. Hey, just like you? Just like you when you were a kid? Right, Neil? Takes one to know one. How many times have you opened your mouth and said horrible things? Don't remind me. You're doing it right now, Neil. But why do you seem to lose your voice when it comes to your father? Why did you let him step on you like that? You're sharp and always ready when it comes to retorts or witty remarks. It's different, all right? It's different because they're family, my family. They've always placed a tremendous amount of pressure on me to perform up to their standards. Why do you think I ran away that time? Even as a child, I knew something wasn't right. You had more fighting spirit as an 8-year-old than you do now at 24. Neil sighs, leaning forward and placing his elbow onto his knee. I simply didn't want to disappoint them. Work hard, make them proud. That's all I really wanted. No, it's not. That's not what you wanted at all. For God's sake, Neil, why do you think I stood up for you? Because I know you're miserable the way you are. I know you want to follow your passion, not be stuck in some stuffy hospital working for your tyrant of a father. Neil stays quiet for a bit, but he finally looks at me. His eyes hold a bunch of emotions, but I can't quite place them. There's a bundle of emotions swirling around in my stomach as well. And most of them are not positive. Of all the things that don't make sense, you're the one that makes the least sense to me. What do you mean? Why do you care so much? Neil twists his body around and round and round and round, and moves closer to me. His face is next to mine, staring at me with those golden eyes. His gaze is taking my breath away. We've made nothing but bad impressions on you. Said and done things that are inexcusable, so he knows! You certainly have that right! So, why are you always there when I least expect it? Bad karma. Always ready to come to my rescue. Neil keeps staring at me, with those eyes, seemingly searching for answers. I'm inexorably drawn into them. He raises an excellent point. Why do I care about him, even though he's been quite horrible with me at certain points? I guess it's because I've seen what Neil can be when the pretenses fall away. And I don't care about myself enough to really distance myself because he's way too stressful to be around. It's worth it when he's in a good mood. I can see Neil for who he is. A Neil that shows kindness towards others, a Neil who can laugh at silly things, a Neil that blushes a deep shade of red and turns speechless. I can see that behind Neil's rude actions, he tries to hide this insecure part of himself, the Neil that's scared of messing up and letting himself get hurt. And that's why he's always so quick to push me away, or to cover up his embarrassment with quick and sharp insults. The more I get to know Neil, the more I know how he ticks. Self-aware and a poopy face is still a poopy face, sure is. How he lashes out whenever he gets embarrassed, how he has enough courage to apologize for his own faults, but only when really pressed for it. And even though his ideas are sometimes twisted, he does care about the people that are close to him. He's still arrogant, he's still witty, and he always has a comeback ready, but this Neil, this is the Neil I worry about him. I want him to be healthy, I want to protect him. I always wonder what he's doing, I want him to succeed, I want him to grow up big and strong. You know, grow up big and strong. And learn to live by his own choices. I want him to die. There's so many things I want to say that I end up speechless, not quite knowing how to convey them. Sometimes I really do think you have an ulterior motive for always involving yourself. Ah yes, my ulterior motive is for you to fall in love with me and marry me before driving you off a cliff and reap all the sweet benefits I'd get as the widow of a very rich man. Hey, isn't that pretty much your father's impression of me? I wouldn't put it past you. Jerk. Gold digger? That would imply you actually have some gold to dig for. Aren't you pretty much poor if your father ever decides to cut you off? He did. I couldn't very well stay silent after your rampage. I was not on a rampage. We kind of were, and we should be proud of it. That was most definitely a rampage, and you left behind quite a big wreckage. Everyone trembled before you, even the butlers. I refused to let Neil get under my skin and looked straight forward, trying to seem unimpressed. You should have stuck around, then you would have known how it ended. Huh? Is your mom getting divorced? Is she single? Well, I'm here now. How'd it end? Father was mouthing you off once you left. I'd never seen him this upset before, not even that day when I ran away. He was like a volcano that erupted. He kept mocking everything you said, everything you stood for, from your manners to your boutique. Well, that sounds nice. I definitely succeeded in making Neil's father dislike me, but that's okay. I didn't like him either. His opinions are not valid. I couldn't stand to listen to the things he was saying about you anymore. But don't you pretty much agree with those things, though? I told my father I actually agreed with everything you said. Neil leans his head against my shoulder, burying his face in my hair as if he's trying to hide. Everything you said, it was pretty much the truth. Angela's been trying to get me to stand up to my father for years now, but I couldn't. Never did. You almost gave me a heart attack when you attacked my father like that. I couldn't believe it. Oh, we should have attacked him harder. Once again, you showed strength when I couldn't. Exactly like when we were kids. I stay quiet, letting him continue to lean on me for support as he explains what happened. Yeah, the red-tied dude has no right criticizing your boutique. We can make anything for him. Anything. And for a very affordable price of about $6,000. We are very successful. We bought out this entire town. He is not but an unhelpful peanuts node. Exactly. I'm glad you caught that. I don't know how many kids nowadays are aware of the Peanuts voice. He went on ranting, insulting you when you left. I was unable to stand it. I don't know why I was okay with my father saying such things about me, but you? I don't want anyone to speak ill of you, so I talked back for once in my life. I can feel his hot breath tickle my neck. It's making me shiver. Now's not the time for horny, Freya! Freya! This man just got disowned! Aren't you always speaking ill of me, though, Neil? I don't speak ill of you. I never. Really? Play back the recordings. And this is the part where I edit in the clip a highlight reel of all the times Neil has insulted us. Case closed. Yeah, thanks, future me. Speaking ill of me, insulting me, same thing. Freya. I'm sorry for the things I've said. I don't deserve what you did for me today. How about you thank me by treating me nicer from now on? No more insults, no more witty retorts done my way, no more shut your pretty mouth, pretty little mouth. I mean, his dad also snorted. But it's kinda enjoyable to see you react and retort to them in return. Hey. Enjoyable! He finds my reactions amusing. I quickly pull away from Neil entirely. Yes! Did you just admit you were saying those things to get a rise out of me? Oh. Neil, prepare to get disowned from life. See, that's the kind of reaction I like. That's not healthy. I feel my cheeks heat up. It's as if I'm playing right into Neil's hands. Stop that! Stop being gleeful! Hi, Dreams and Stardust. I think that we're nearing the end. Neil got disowned. Neil. You can be cute sometimes. Hey, fellas. I just want you to know that telling your SO that they're cute when they're angry is not the safe way to, calm them down when they are angry. It doesn't work. Great, now I'm definitely blushing. What's gotten into you all of a sudden? I'm not used to Neil being like this. He seems more carefree, he's joking around. The other night when we ate dinner together, he discovered a side of him that I'd never seen before, and now this? What side of him did you discover? Wait, are you talking about the knowing how to do electrical work thing? I can't decide whether I'm having a good day or a bad day. You sure are having a day. Your last day. Did your father really cut you off? Oh, I'm sure he's definitely cutting me out of any financial support. He hasn't said anything explicitly, the man was too stunned to reply once I was through with him, but I'm sure he's already plotting my demise. You won't be missed. Angela would have loved to be there. I know I would have loved to see Neil standing up to his father. I'm almost sad I ran out after I said my piece without getting to see something this extraordinary. You're cute when you're angry. Yeah, things are gonna get real cute, Buster. So, what changes for you right now? It changes everything. It means I'm now free to do whatever I want. And don't worry, it's not like he can access my personal bank account. I'm not suddenly dirt poor and living on the streets. What did your mother say? She didn't say much, actually. She was pretty quiet throughout the whole entire thing. Once I was through with my father, all she said was to go after you. So you came here on mother's orders. Oh, hi, Ray! Oh, has Neil become likable, or is he still Neil? I mean, I'm pretty sure we're at the point of the game where he's supposed to be entirely likable, and just smarmy in that really charming way. But I'm not feeling charmed. I'm really sorry. I'm sure that the writers worked very hard on this. And you know, we do need more English language otome games that aren't in the explicitly anime style, because sometimes that can be alienating, right? So I'm really glad that we have a lot more female-oriented romance games out lately. The otome genre has grown up a whole lot since I was a kid. But also, look at this man. So he's still Neil, and you are correct. No, I wanted to as well. Good. I don't want you chasing after me only because someone told you to. Are you saying you want me to chase after you on my own volition? That's exactly what we're saying. No, baka. But maybe not no? You're a terrible liar. I bite down on my lips and avoid his gaze. Neil makes a sudden movement, closing the distance between us again. His lips are near my ear, and his voice a whisper. Sussy baka. I've been chasing you all this time, Freya. Haven't you noticed? He quickly retreats and stands up from the bench, his back turned to me. Snow falls down on me, the safety of the umbrella gone with Neil. Huh? He left? I look at his back, and under the lamp of the streetlight, I can spot that the tips of his ears are red against his black hair. I find myself blushing as well. My mind is a whirlwind right now. An hour ago I was yelling at his father, and now Neil is saying that he's... What is he saying exactly? Is he cryptically trying to say he's actually been chasing me all this time? My mind is jumping to all kinds of conclusions, but I don't want my imagination to work it out. I want to hear it from him. Chasing me? You have a funny way of showing that. But then I see him shrink a bit, slumping down his shoulders and giving me a sigh. I may have done some light stalking. Can't hear you. You know, very well from the beginning. You? Finally, I'm standing next to Neil. I must have been very quiet because he jumps away in surprise. Neil composes himself, loosening the tie around his neck with his index finger. It seems I have... I want to tell him to get it out with already, but he is simply too adorable. Neil, you're usually so eloquent with words. What's gotten you all tongue-tied now? I want to rub it in his face that he's fumbling over his words. I definitely do not like that part of you. I'm sorry, but who's the one who admitted saying certain things to get a rise out of the other for their pleasure? Wasn't it, You? It was, wasn't it? Well, Neil, would you like to be told that you're cute when you're angry? Let me finish what I was trying to say already. When he sees I'm not continuing my teasing, or basking in his embarrassment really, he clears his throat and tries it one more time. As I was trying to say, after you so rudely interrupted me, I'm not interrupting. It seems like I have inexplicably grown fond of you. What now? He's grown fond of me? That's what he has to say after all these makeouts? Well, yeah, I'd hope that you'd be fond of me. I'm sorry, was this supposed to be some kind of confession? Is this how Neil explains his feelings? Hey lady, I've grown fond of you. Oh, even in my mind it sounds ridiculous. I yank down on Neil's tie and he yelps in response as he gets pulled down to my level. I'm 4'11". I stare him down. I am breaking his back. I am punching in his knees. You've grown fond of me. How about being a bit more clear? I need to admit something. Making out with you was fun. You're making him bend over. That's a good way of thinking of it. My body zings in response. Bazinga! Always with the tongue. I know that that's an adult kiss, but please, I am begging you, please. How indecent young people are these days. You are right, Grandma. You're right. We break apart at the interruption, mortified to realize we're not exactly alone in the park and have been sucking each other's faces in public view. Why does it always have to escalate to face sucking? Both of us are taking big breaths to steady ourselves. I can't seem to look Neil in the eye, and he seems to have the same problem. The ground suddenly becomes very interesting. Let me take you home. This park can be full of strange people at night. You don't want to run into them. Ho-ho! I wrap my fingers around each other, loving the feeling of his, much bigger than against mine. We walk side by side and make our way out of the park. My mind immediately goes into overdrive as his hand grows warmer to the touch. We just made out. Neil sort of confessed to me. We're holding hands, and not even an hour ago I was yelling at his father. I can't keep up with these emotions. It's all still so unclear, but this growing sensation inside of me. See, you kissed too much and now you're gonna have babies. That's how babies are made, right? It's hard to ignore. It's been there like a steady current, growing bigger and bigger, washing over me like a tidal wave. I look over at Neil, who's keeping quiet and holding the umbrella with one hand while gripping mine with the other. My heart clenches up. It's throbbing painfully. I quickly look away. My heart! I need a hospital. No, it's not that unclear. I felt this way for a while now. Maybe even since all the way back to the masquerade party, when I was forced to realize that I'd been attracted to Neil all the while. I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to face my own growing feelings for him. Because why would I even feel this way? Neil has been nothing but hot and cold from the moment we met again at the coffee shop. And yet I'm unable to stay away from him, and Neil seems unable to stay away from me. I think Oh God. What's that? Huh? What's God? Well, let me tell you. Wait, the protagonist is only realizing this now? Nothing. Is she not gonna say it? Well, spit it out. Don't say, oh God, all of a sudden and stop walking without any sort of explanation. Neil looks at me with a frown, waiting for me to say what's on my mind. I furiously shake my head, hoping to shake off the blush that is now covering my cheeks. No way. I'm not going to say it. No chance. No way. I won't say it. No, no. Ha! Moments ago you couldn't keep your mouth shut, and now you decide to keep quiet? Well, that's because I just realized I'm in love with Neil. Just realized it. Ah, I can't let him know. He'd grow even cockier, even more arrogant. He'd never let me forget.
Why won't you tell me?
First, keep mouth shut. I bite down my lips and shake my head again. No way, I can't tell you. I'm not going to. Neil's gentle gaze turns into a glare. Why can't you tell me, huh? Where's your fighting spirit now? You boldly seduce me with your lips, but words prove to be a challenge to you? Seducing him? This isn't seduce me. Are you really that at a loss for words? This cocky is enjoying this, and I'm hating every second of it. I hate this. I can't let him be this gleeful. My pride won't stand for this amount of smugness. I'm not. Fine. I love you. When Neil doesn't respond with anything witty, however, I take a peek through my fingers. And Neil responds, I know. He's standing still, looking straight ahead. Oh God, he's fallen unconscious on his feet. Neil, no, you can't sleep in the snow. Oh, Neil, you'll catch pneumonia and die. Oh no. Oh no. I pull my hands away from my face. Neil? Ah! Look at him. What is that? What is that? What is that? Neil? Quick, bury him so coyotes don't eat his body. Neil lifts his head the tiniest bit so he can look back at me with his golden eyes. He looks so embarrassed. It's cute. My heart thumps against my chest, filling me with a glowing warmth. I pick up the umbrella and slowly walk towards him. It's my turn to shield him from the snow. He looks kind of pathetic. It reminds me of the day we met up at the cafe when he tried to hide behind his laptop. It was so stupid but also weirdly endearing, like right now. I can't pass up this opportunity to tease him, so I crouch to his level and lean in closer to his ears. Mieruku, daisuki da yo. He almost does a barrel roll forwards, but catches himself in time before quickly standing up straight. I follow his movements with a smirk, basking in his embarrassment. I think I found the best button to push. Oh, we should have done this sooner. Huh? What's wrong, Neo? Doshite no, Mieru-kun? He gives me this incredulous look, one that seems to be screaming, "Are you for real?" He points at me with his index finger. Stop that! I take a step closer to him, my smirk growing wider. Stop what? Oh? Saying, "Suki?" Stop! Another step closer. Why should I? Face still buried in his hands, he looks over to his left and grits his teeth like he's in pain. Stop lying to me like that. It's not good for my heart. Does he really think I'm lying for the sake of teasing him? I take a small step backwards. It's not a lie. I may have only realized it just now, but it's true. Regrettably. Neil's golden eyes are wide and confused. Even if you have the emotional range of a toddler, even if your venomous words sting and hurt, even if I never know what comes out of your mouth is what you really mean to say, you don't have to keep insulting me. I could say the same to you. I guess I can't help but find you adorable? Besides, I'll admit that I can say some nasty things as well. Neil blinks at me, still not believing me. Of course, I'd prefer if you'd be a little nicer to me from now on. Say something, don't make me stand here, wearing my heart on my sleeve all awkwardly. He seems to be incapable of looking at me directly when it comes to being honest with himself. Maybe my choice of words was a bit ambiguous. I'll try to express myself better. Express himself better? That would certainly help, considering Neil is always hiding his thoughts behind snarky comments. I have a hard time putting my feelings into words whenever I'm around you. Gee, really? He reaches out for me daringly, brushing my cheek with the back of his hand. I take in a breath as I get filled up with excitement and anticipation. Ever since that day at your boutique, I've been attracted to you, and those feelings festered inside me to something bigger. I felt less and less in control every day. Despite being able to properly articulate himself this time, Neil's face is a deep shade of red, and the blush even covering his neck and ears. I can tell that he's shivering, and it's definitely not because of the cold. Okay, so how long in days did it take for these two to figure it out? A couple months. He's nervous, he's fidgety. These are all new sides of Neil I haven't seen before. I became quite the mess when it's about you. It's hard to breathe, it's hard to think. I never knew I could feel nervous, scared, and excited all at the same time. In the end, I'm having such a hard time managing my own feelings that I ended up hurting yours. Alternatively, how many makeouts were had? At least 3. Mocking you, hurting you, that's never been my intention. I can't help but become a petulant child whenever I feel that fluttery chaos in the pit of my stomach. I lash out, my mouth runs off, and instead of trying to get along with you, my primitive brain thinks it'd be a great idea to act all high and mighty to make sure you won't notice that I'm scared of these feelings you incite in me. Neil finishes his monologue while looking at me with these hopeful, puppy dog-like eyes. My heart melts at the sight of him, and his words make my heart beat even faster. Essentially, Neil admits he has feelings for me and lashes out because he was too scared in return. But I want you to notice me now, Senpai. And if what you said before was no lie, then... What? Forehead. I can feel his warm breath on my face. It's comforting. He pauses for a while, simply leaning against me for support. Well, as long as you have a well-thought-out excuse, that makes up for all the pain and abuse. I'm sure knowing all this will change your behavior instantly. I think I love you too. At least I think I do. Really? You didn't guess from the fondness? And then once you've made it through a year of CBT, then maybe. Chris, be really careful with this. With that acronym. I know it's in the context of therapy, but you gotta be careful with that acronym, okay? Translator's note: CBT doesn't stand for cognitive behavioral therapy in this case. Oh no! I can't believe we both confessed to each other. What are we, some Japanese teenagers? I never expected that this would happen when I woke up this morning. I expected to tell Neil's parents that I wasn't his fiancé and I wasn't in fact anything to him. Yet here we are, foreheads touching, faces red, with the snow falling quietly behind us, and the old lady still watching us. And we love each other. I was teasing him before, confidently saying, "Ski da yo." But now I suddenly find myself speechless. It's one thing to say it, it's another to hear it coming from him. I'll repeat what you said before. Please say something, don't make me stand here like a fool. I hold back the urge to smile. I want to say, those weren't my exact words, but I decide against it for now.
You're stupid.
I can already tell Neil is about to pull away in a huff, but I tilt my head up, pressing my lips against his for a brief moment. Oh, thank God they're not making out this time. But I seem to be in love with you no matter how stupid you are. Fancy that. Are you saying I'm stupid? Yes, I am. Stupid. Neil kisses me back, wrapping his arms around my waist. Then you're stupid for falling for this fool. He's nervous and fidgety, but his eyes are full of longing as he cups my face and brings himself closer to gently kiss me again. He pulls away after a sweet second, blinking his eyes at me and giving me a shy smile. Let's go home. To, like, my house? Because you got kicked out? I may be stupid, bottom text. Yes, let's get home. Together. Alright. I see. I'm not part of the Patreon. But I guess if this influences whether you want to download the game. I mean, it's been building it up for a while now. But anyway, epilogue. No. Yes. I'm daydreaming of Neil. I'm still a bit unsure whether or not any of this is real. The fight with his parents, Neil's love confession and mine, the many kisses. It was last night that he took me home, and we kissed goodnight in front of my store. His kisses have left me aching for more, especially considering the fact that we love each other. That still feels weird to say. Neil loves me? He actually admitted it? I also daydream of Neil's Cicierga and his musical works. 2 trucks holding hands. 2 trucks holding hands. The passion, my big fat heart expands. I don't know what's going to happen now. On one hand, it's terrifying, and on the other hand, it's exhilarating. Mostly, though, I'm nervously waiting to see Neil again. The door chimes. My eyes widen when I realize my customer is none other than Neil's mother, Evelyn. Divorce? Good day, Freya. I'm starting to get sweaty palms. Oh no, did she bring spaghetti? What is she doing here? Is she going to scold me, warn me to never come near Neil again? Good day. Evelyn looks around the shop for a bit, taking her time to say what she came here to say. It was unfortunate how things ended yesterday, don't you agree? Yes. Marcus doesn't know what's good for our son. He's stubborn and unchanging in his ways. He believes Neil should follow in his footsteps and take over the hospital as CEO. Don't worry, Freya, rich people don't do their own hits. You're safe today. I keep my thoughts to myself. I've already spoken up enough. I've tried time and again, yet in the end, nothing really seems to have any influence. Neil went along with whatever Marcus said, and my poor son kept overworking himself at a job he loathed. And then something miraculous happened last night. Neil finally found his inner strength and stood up for his own needs. And I have you to thank for it all. Evelyn, you're his mother. You should have been supporting him before anyone else. Me? It's a good thing I stood up to his father? That's correct. While you may have been pretending to be Neil's fiancé, I can tell that the both of you are very close. I'm very grateful that you managed to ignite fire in him so he could finally take charge of his own destiny. Why weren't you encouraging him before? Because honestly, Neil seemed to dread you just as much as he dreaded his father. Marcus should concede to the fact Neil won't be taking over. We're in the modern age now. There's no need to keep the business in the family. This business wasn't even part of the family to begin with. We're Novu rich. Plenty of other wonderful young men can step up and take over. What I want for my son is for him to be happy. So please, Freya, continue making my lovely son happy. Sure, but can you introduce me to him?
Hey.
I don't know what to say. I'm pretty sure I look like a fish out of water, gaping at her with no words coming out. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Please don't be shy and come visit us again. I'm not going to let Marcus cut off our only son and his lover. Lover! Have a nice day, Freya. I wish you all the best with my son. She finally leaves the store. Why did she say lover instead of girlfriend? I try to gather my thoughts. Evelyn personally came over to tell me that she was grateful for whatever I did to Neil to make him stand up for his father. Up to his father. She didn't even scold me for blowing up at Marcus. As a matter of fact, she gave me her blessing to continue making her son happy. Is it really that obvious there is something going on between Neil and me? And more importantly, why wasn't Neil's mom helping before this? I mean, yeah, she said that she tried, but come on, blow up at him. She saw those makeout sessions. So Neil's still rich, huh? Yep. Don't forget he's got his own personal wealth too. I mean, I'm sure it's not like 6 figures worth, but, you know, it's something. The door chimes once more, and I look up with a bundle of nerves in my stomach. Speak of the devil. It's Marcus. Neil! Did I see my mother walk out of the store, or am I imagining things? What are you doing here? I didn't realize I missed him this much. It's only been like half a day since I last saw him. Neil coughs into his hand, looking away from me. I wanted to see you. And just like that, my heart is fluttering again. Anyways, back to my question. What was my mother doing here? I think she gave us her blessings? I'm still a bit unsure. Her blessings? What do you mean? Did she say anything else? She came over to say that she hopes I make you happy and that both of us are still welcome to visit her again. I'm pretty sure she means to say that you're not cut off from the family. She said that? Well, is she getting a divorce or not? That's good, right? You're still a forester. I don't care about that. I mean, she said something as sappy as you making me happy. It's what she said. I guess you do make me happy. I can't stop the grin from spreading on my face, though. Are you busy right now? No, these 4 customers haven't shown up yet. Aren't I a customer? Depends, are you interested in something? Definitely. No flirting on the clock, oh my god. I hide my blushing face behind my hands. Why is Neil so bold all of a sudden? I can show you some clothing you might like. Some clothing? I quickly skitter over towards the other side of the store to pick out one of the few male shirts I have. I hold it up to Neil. You can try this on, for example. I'm trying to suggest something not so innocent here. Neil obediently takes the shirt from my hands, then he walks towards the dressing room, closing the curtain behind him. Why is this a question? I patiently wait outside. Freya, can you help me with this? I reach for the curtain to open it up, until I'm suddenly grabbed by my wrist and pulled into the dressing room. Police! It's not gonna get steamy. But just in case, okay? Just in case, okay? Uh-huh. What if a customer comes in? You get customers sometimes. Oh, I love this man. How good for you, Freya. The last time I was railroaded this bad, I was saved by the 415 to Warwickville by the Lone Ranger. That's when we're pulled back to earth as we hear someone enter the store. I run out of the changing room and quickly make myself decent. My heart is running a marathon, it's beating that fast. I try to calm myself down and flash a smile at the customer. The customer browses around a bit before they leave. Wow, thanks. I anxiously let out a sigh. You can come out now. Oh, he forgot his tie. With a tousled look and red lips that took a beating, Neil turns to address me. I laugh and then I kiss him again. My life with Neil is only just beginning. Passionate ending, playful. Aww. And here's the credits. I wonder if they had a credits song. Her hair didn't load in at first. They probably have a really good credits song for this though, right? I feel bad for turning off the music now. It's because of all of those really long silent gaps, you know? Gonna take a sip. God, his slick back hair is so dumb. Yeah. Remember when he had that purple hair? I'm honestly surprised that he never changed back. Yep. No! I'm sorry, special thanks. Okay. Aw, that's a nice CG. I'll fill out the survey later. And, oh, on dates. Purchase the Plus DLC to go out on a date? Maybe I will then. I mean, yeah, I complained a lot, but I guess that I did have fun on this route, and I do want to support the devs. So this has been Tailor Tales, and I should save now. And we still have another, like 25 minutes until the stream ends? I don't think that I want to start another route. Because, again, I really recommend that you guys try this game out for yourselves. I'm sure there's a lot of really quality boys in here. This ultimate game can fit so many good boys. I'm really sad we didn't manage to beat any of them. What can we do? Ah, I have an idea. This is going to be a little bit... Can confirm Dimitri is a good boy? Aw, I'm glad he's a good boy. Is there a way to make this full screen? Huh. Okay. Okay. Just a second. Window capture. Window capture. Okay, now gotta drag this way down. The resolution isn't entirely right, so I guess that I will just have to, where is it? Okay. Let's do some first aid training, everybody! That's right, let's do some official Red Cross first aid training. Are you guys excited?
Whether you realize it or not, you play a major role in the EMS system. The EMS system That's the Emergency Medical Services System, is a network of resources that includes 911 dispatchers, police officers, firefighters, doctors, emergency medical personnel, and you. Once you recognize an emergency, you have a choice to make. Do I help? There are 4 actions you can take to affect the outcome for an ill or injured person. Recognizing that an emergency exists, deciding to take action, activating the EMS system, and giving care until EMS personnel arrive and take over. I'm here to help you prepare for that. But the decision to take action, that's all yours. Emergencies can be stressful and scary. When faced with one, you may worry about doing something wrong, catching a disease, or
I should
being
turn on
sued.
captions.
Or you might doubt it's really an emergency, assume it's already under control, or be squeamish about blood or other unpleasantness on the scene. These are all reasons someone may be hesitant to act during an emergency. So how do you prevent these thoughts from stopping you? First of all, know the facts. Contracting a disease while helping an injured or ill person is extremely unlikely. You can protect yourself and others by using personal protective equipment like gloves or breathing barriers when available. If available, nitrile gloves are the most preferred latex-free gloves. Also, just because there are a few people or even an entire crowd gathering at the scene of an emergency, that doesn't mean anyone is actually helping. Most states have Good Samaritan laws that protect people like us against claims of negligence when giving care in good faith. Of course, these laws vary from state to state. All of these laws were created to encourage people like you to help others in emergency situations. Finally, and most importantly, you can help. Here, you'll learn how to help using the check, call, care process. When in doubt, remember, doing something is always better than doing nothing.
Yeah, I used to be CPR certified until the incident. The incident is my cert expired before I renewed it. Remember to renew it, Chris! This online course isn't like OSHA certified or anything, so it's not something that you can take if your job requires it, but it's better to know something than to know nothing. And it does still count as a certificate of some sort. Alright. And you see, they have these interactive missions. Barry's suddenly feeling lightheaded at a grocery store. He says he's hungry and hasn't eaten all day as he slides down to the floor. His son Tyler and a store employee are there with him. You walk out over to where Barry is seated. This mission will guide you through the check, call, care process to provide care to Barry during this emergency.
This looks like an emergency. In any emergency situation, follow the emergency action steps. Check, call, care. Before rushing to help an injured or ill person, size up the scene and form an initial impression. Use your senses to gather information that will help you determine whether the scene is safe for you to enter. Take note of unusual noises, signs, odors, appearances, or behaviors. As you look around, ask yourself, what happened to cause the emergency? How many people are involved? What condition is the person in? Is there anyone else available to help? Part of doing this scene size-up is forming an initial impression of what is wrong with the person. Does the person appear ill or have any immediate identifiable injuries? Is the person moving? Does the person have signs of a life-threatening injury or illness, such as trouble breathing or severe life-threatening bleeding? The information you gather as you size up the scene and form an initial impression will help you decide what to do next. Check the rest of the scene by looking to the right and the left. Use the arrows on either side of the screen to look around.
I just got back from putting dinner away and I thought you were taking a Skillshare course. No, I'm sharing my first aid training. Like, you know how I got all about that when Angela fell the last part and hit her head on something and started bleeding? So I decided that I should probably review all my stuff. So I did. And I'm making you guys review it too. Or view it. You generally have to get a parent's consent before you perform CPR on a child. Yeah, exactly. Consent is important.
Those avocados are way overpriced, but that's not a safety concern. Now check the rest of the room. Select the arrow on the left once to return to the center of the room and twice to check the left side of the room. Everything looks okay over here. No apparent hazards. Good work. There don't appear to be any hazards here. The scene is safe. Barry is awake and moving with no signs of severe life-threatening bleeding. Now that you've checked the scene and formed an initial impression, you need to gather more information to finish checking the injured or ill person. Select Barry to move a little closer and ask him some questions. Notice the white circles on screen? These indicate available action menus. You can select actions from these menus to interact with the person on screen and provide care.
Yeah.
First, you need to obtain consent from Barry. Select Obtain Consent from the menu near Barry's head. That's right. Before giving care to an injured or ill person, you must obtain consent. To obtain consent, explain who you are, your level of training, what you see and what you plan to do, and ask if you can help. If a person verbally or visually agrees to care, this is known as expressed consent. If a person is unconscious or unable to respond, this is implied consent. If you're providing care to a child or infant, obtain consent from a parent or guardian if one is present. If one is not present and it is an emergency, then consent is implied. Once you obtain consent, you should interview the person to learn more about signs and symptoms.
We can interview him now since, he's conscious and all that. Alright. To obtain consent, you need to explain who you are, your level of training, what you see, and what you plan to do, and ask Barry if you can help. So in my case, it would be something like, actually I have never actually needed to do this yet, but I would imagine it be something like, hi, my name is Freya. I am certified in adult first aid. I see that you collapsed right there. May I, what I plan to do. What I plan to do. I mean, in this case, it was a pretty simple, just running through the interview questions, monitoring condition, while sending somebody else to go call 911. How would I phrase that? I should practice that for in case I run into an actual emergency. Not that I go outside very often. But I already told you guys what the plan of action is. Barry, can I help?
Yes, please.
Thanks, Barry.
Nice job. You've obtained consent to help Barry. In a sudden illness emergency, obtaining consent might sound like, you seem ill, and I'm trained to respond to sudden illness emergencies. I'm going to help you. Is that okay? Next, ask Barry some questions to learn more about what's wrong and determine if you need to call 911. Select Interview Barry from the menu near Barry's head to get started. When dealing with an injured or ill person, you'll want to gather any information that will help you provide care. For interviewing someone, try to remember the acronym SAMPLE, which stands for
Signs and Symptoms, Allergies, Medications,
Pertinent medical history,
last food or drink, and events leading up to the incident.
First, look for signs. Signs are what you hear, see, smell, and feel. This might be a broken bone, or in this situation, a man who appears tired and weak. Then, ask about symptoms. Symptoms are what the person you're helping is experiencing, like pain in an arm or a racing heartbeat, or in this case, a feeling of dizziness or disorientation. Next, you should ask about allergies and medications, as these might have a part in the situation or could interfere with care. Next, ask for any pertinent medical history that might factor into the problem, when they last ate or drank something, and what happened leading up to the incident. Anything that might make sense with a particular illness or injury so that you can more effectively provide care.
The Snickers commercials assured me that helping people would be a lot faster than this. Don't worry, it's a lot faster when you don't have someone monologuing at you. Anyway, Barry, can you tell me about your symptoms?
I feel really dizzy and tired.
Do you have any allergies?
No.
Can you tell me if you're taking any medication?
No.
Any pertinent medical conditions?
No.
When did you last eat or drink?
I haven't eaten since dinner last night. Had meatloaf and green beans.
Alright, and what were you doing before you collapsed?
I was shopping with my son, and I wanted to go home and eat. And then I got dizzy and had to sit down.
Barry appears weak and said he is tired and dizzy. This means it is time to call 911. Throughout these missions, you'll learn more about when specific injuries or illnesses need advanced medical attention.
When in doubt, make the call.
For this emergency, you should send the cashier to call 911. Take a step back by selecting the back arrow in the lower left corner of the screen. During missions, you can contact EMS personnel yourself by selecting the phone icon at the bottom of the screen to call 911. In most emergencies, however, it is better to send a bystander to call instead. If you find yourself alone with an injured or ill person and you need to call 911, try shouting for help first. To shout for help during a mission, select the megaphone icon at the bottom of the screen. Select the cashier Bruno to talk to him and send him to call 911.
All right.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice job. And remember, when sending a bystander to call 911, it's always a good idea to also have them grab a first aid kit if one is available. Now, let's listen in on that 911 phone call. Normally, we would start providing care for Barry while Bruno is on the phone with 911. But for now, listen in on that call to learn more about the kinds of questions you'd be asked by a 911 operator.
This is 911. Where is your emergency?
450 West Ravenswood. I'm at the Green Galore supermarket.
What is the phone number you are calling from?
This is the store's landline. 555-312.
I'm 95% sure the treatment for this is just a few of the fruits. Do not, what's the word? Do not armchair diagnose someone with diabetes.
How old
He looks like he's in his late 30s, maybe early 40s.
is he? Is he responsive or unresponsive now?
He's responsive now.
Is he having any difficulty breathing?
No, he's not having trouble breathing. He's breathing fine.
I'm sending paramedics to help you now.
Good work. Next, you perform what's called a head-to-toe check. Before starting, tell the person what you're going to do. Then check one part of the body at a time, moving straight down the body from head to toe as you look and feel for signs of injury or illness. From here, you remain with Barry to monitor his condition until help arrives. We'll stop here and review what you learned about the check and call steps in the check, call, care process.
Yay! So that's the most basic things. And this has 36 missions altogether. So at the end, for instance, you, Oh, I was assuming he didn't have it, which is, more dangerous. I forget my point. So yeah, we learned first aid, CPR, and how to use an AED. So, What are you guys most interested in? I say as if I'm let's playing a game. But no, information is very important. This course is only $35, so I highly recommend it. I mean, obviously it's not as good as as an in-person class, because for example, for practicing how to do CPR, you don't have any instructors to tell you if you're going too lightly or anything. This just tests if you have the rhythm right. The proper way to hold something, or how to really get that force in, you have to practice that in person. Hey everybody, welcome to my Let's Play of the basics of CPR. I think that bleeding would make people upset. Let's do adult CPR with an AED.
There are some situations that may require special attention when using an AED to provide care. For example, using an AED around water may not seem appropriate, but AEDs are actually safe to use near water when all precautions and manufacturer operating instructions are followed,
Yeah.
even in rain and snow.
So don't be afraid.
If a person is actually in a pool or puddle of water, move the person before using the AED. Thoroughly dry the chest before applying pads. If it's raining, try to shelter the person from the water, but don't delay care to create a dry environment. Another special situation to pay attention to is if a person has an implanted medical device or a medication patch on their body. For implanted devices, like a pacemaker or implantable cardioverter defibrillator, avoid placing the pads directly over the device.
Yeah.
Implantable cardioverter defibrillators, also known as ICDs, are like miniature AEDs. Pacemakers and ICDs are typically located in the area below the person's right collarbone, and they feel like a small lump under the person's skin.
So keep an eye out for
Remove
those.
any medication patches on the person's chest with a gloved hand and wipe away any medication before placing the AED pads. Finally, metal surfaces and items. It is safe to deliver a shock to a person who is laying on a metal surface, like bleachers, as long as the pads themselves do not touch the metal surface. It's also safe to do so when a person has body jewelry. Just make sure you avoid putting the pads directly over any jewelry. Keep them about an inch away just to be safe.
And AEDs are really self-explanatory. You just turn them on and they give you the instructions. Just make sure to follow them. Look, they even have diagrams of where to put them in case you forgot. Chad is found lying on the ground at his job at a factory. His coworker Jack sees Chad not moving or speaking and shouts for help. You hear the shout and have just entered the room.
After finding Jack on the floor, you grab the AED from its place. Use the check, call, care process to respond to this emergency.
Right. So, first we check the scene. No hazards here.
Good. You've checked the scene, and there don't appear to be any hazards. The scene is safe. While checking, you didn't notice any severe, life-threatening bleeding.
Alright, and consent is implied, so, Mike, please get 911 and a first aid
I'll
kit.
go call 911 right away.
Thanks, Mike, you're the
Good work.
best.
Mike will now step away to call 911. It's critical that you alert emergency services as soon as possible during a cardiac emergency. Before you engage with bystanders, you should check the scene and check the person for responsiveness.
Ah, I messed up. I should have checked for responsiveness first. To check for responsiveness,
What is the correct way to check for responsiveness?
first you need to shout, "Are you okay?"
Jack doesn't respond. How do you complete your check?
And then you tap them on the shoulder, shout again, and look for normal breathing. Though if it's a child, then, not a child, an infant, then you tap them on the bottom of the foot instead. Are you okay?
Jack is unresponsive. During your check, you noticed he isn't breathing either. What's next?
Do not move, Jack. Don't do that. No. First, we attempt CPR.
Position yourself for chest compressions.
We want to make sure we can pound right over his sternum.
Nice job. Next, drag the correct hands to the correct location on the chest for compressions.
And you want to interlace your fingers like that. Over his
Good
heart.
work. You'll need to count compressions on your own. Remember, give 30 compressions at a rate of 100 to 120 compressions per minute. When you've completed chest compressions, select the Done button.
Yeah, remember to count to 30, and if you have trouble with the rhythm, there's a really famous song that works good for it. Dum, 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 dum. Another one bites the dust. Dun, 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 dun. Another one bites the dust. And another one down, and another one down. Another one bites the dust. Dun, dun, dun. Another one bites the dust. Dun, dun,
Well, you're not quite there. You need to give 30 compressions at a rate of 100 to 120
I accidentally gave too many.
You have an AED available. You should have used it before performing compressions.
Really? Ah! Oh god, I'm failing. I just did this yesterday. I literally just did this yesterday. I'm sorry. I'm failing this man. I'm failing this man. But I can't give up now.
Remove clothing from person's chest. Attach pads firmly to person's chest, as shown.
Nice work. Now, follow the AED prompts to continue providing care for Jack.
Right, you only do the chest compressions first if, you know for a fact that they are choking on some food and you didn't manage to unlodge it with the Heimlich maneuver. I am a sham! I'm a sham!
Nice job. Jack's chest is now exposed.
I'm sorry, Jack!
Drag each pad to the correct spot on the chest.
Jack, I'm failing you.
Exactly. Use the illustrations on the pads as a guide. You have attached the AED pads.
Analyzing rhythm. Everyone stand clear.
Alright, and even though nobody's here, you still gotta tell the bystanders to stand clear. Wave your arms like that.
Shock advised. Charging. Everyone stand clear.
Alright, everyone stand clear. You heard the robot.
Push the shock button. Shock delivered. Begin 5 cycles of CPR.
Now, remember, it's 30 at a rate of 100 to 120 compressions per minute.
You've completed 30 compressions. You should have provided rescue breaths before performing another set of...
It's because I did the compressions
The
before.
ambulance is on the way. The operator said you should keep doing what you're doing until they get here.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Chad. Anyway, open the airway.
Now open the airway.
Uh-huh.
Jack's airway is now open.
Give 2 rescue breaths. And now another 30 chest compressions. By the way, even if you don't see their chest rise, you should keep on doing the rescue breaths. And even if it doesn't look like the chest compressions are doing anything, you gotta do them. Another one down, and another one down. Another one bites the dust. Open the airway again.
Is now open. You have given 2 rescue breaths. You've completed 30 compressions.
This is
You
our
gave 2
third.
rescue breaths. However, you forgot to open the airway first. Remember, Jack's head will move during compressions, so you need to open the airway every time you give rescue breaths.
I'm a failure of a first aid person. I need to review this every day. This is our 4th.
You've completed 30 compressions. The airway is now open. You have given 2 rescue breaths.
And this is the last.
You've completed 30 compressions. The airway is now open. You have given 2 rescue breaths.
That's 5. Now what? Did I miss one?
You've completed 30 compressions.
Analyzing rhythm.
Oh,
Everyone stand clear.
okay, good. Stand clear. Because the AED checks for 2 minutes, because that's about how long it takes to perform 5 cycles of CPR. So I was getting nervous that it didn't say anything.
No shock advised.
Okay.
Begin 5 cycles of CPR.
Yeah.
The AED has advised you not to give another shock at this point, which means you should continue CPR. Just as you're about to do so, however, emergency services arrive. When the EMS is ready to take over compressions, you switch off.
Yeah. And also, even when it says that shock is not advised, that does not mean that you should remove the AED pads. You need to keep them on while doing it. And let's do one more to prove that I'm not incompetent. Tilly's not moving on the ground at a daycare playground. An employee and 2 children are there. You hear the noise and stop to help. Use your skills to provide care for Tilly in this emergency.
Use the skills you've learned to respond to this emergency.
I can do this. I'm a good noodle.
Scene is safe. While checking, you didn't notice any severe, life-threatening bleeding.
Okay, here Tilly's parents aren't around, so we can just sort of assume there's consent.
Yeah. I'll grab it and call 911.
What is the correct way to check for responsiveness?
Alright, first you shout the infant's name. Tilly!
Tilly doesn't seem to respond.
Accidentally clicked out. So I need
What
to
is
check
the correct way to
responsiveness
check for
again.
Responsiveness.
Tilly!
Tilly doesn't seem to respond.
Tap the foot, shout again, and then look for normal breathing. Tap, tap.
Tilly is unresponsive.
Wait, Freya, what are you doing? Hi, Ray! I finished the Otome game early, so I'm showing everybody emergency care procedures. Yeah, don't shake the infants anything. Do not. Yeah, when you're actually in this situation, you will probably want to just everywhere. But this is important, okay? Yeah, with babies, you gotta be a bit more gentle. Yeah. One down and another one down. Another one bites the dust. Dun, 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 dun. Another one bites the dust. Dun. Open airway. Yeah. Because you see, you gotta have, like, a clean airway.
The airway is now open.
Here's the AED. EMS is on the way. They should be here in 5 minutes.
Bless you, Michael.
Remove clothing from person's chest. Attach pads firmly to person's chest, as shown.
You're so uncomfortable with this. Health isn't comfortable. Alright, so gotta expose infant's chest, and remember that if it's an emergency, you can use scissors. It's okay if you don't know how to remove a onesie, but the infant's life is the most important. Now attach the AED pads, and as you can see, the placement is different for infants too. The one by the chest you put on their front, and the one by their side you put on their back. It's because they're so tiny.
Analyzing rhythm. Everyone stand clear.
Everyone stand clear, especially you children.
No shock advised.
Okay.
Begin 5 cycles of CPR.
Beginning 5 cycles of CPR.
You've completed 30 compressions.
Alright.
The airway is now open. You have given 2 rescue breaths.
That's 1 cycle.
You've completed 30 compressions. The airway is now open. You have given 2 rescue breaths.
That's our 2nd cycle.
You've completed 30 compressions. The airway is now open. You have given 2 rescue breaths.
3rd.
You've completed 30 compressions. The airway is now open. You have given 2 rescue breaths.
Analyzing rhythm. Everyone stand clear.
Stand clear.
Shock advised.
Ah!
Charging. Everyone stand clear.
We'll help you, Tilly.
Push the shock button. Shock delivered. Begin 5 cycles of CPR.
The paramedics have arrived and taken over giving care.
Okay. Well, did you guys learn anything? Remember, you can learn more online. And if you're, like, especially interested in this, then I recommend going in person too. Everyone is really friendly. And this is $35. And Taylor Tales is free. And overall, health is really important, okay, guys? Remember, you gotta tightly wrap a bleeding wound and loosely wrap a burn. I learned that AEDs are safe to use on infants. Yeah, AEDs are a lot safer than people usually assume. Okay. Thanks so much for coming, everybody. Let's see. Who is available to raid? Remember to tell them CPR facts! It looks like Viv and Isabella are playing Final Fantasy XIV. Okay. Yeah, raid. Give them cool health facts. So, what do the 3 C's stand for? The check, and then? Do you remember? You're welcome, guys. Yeah, check, call, care. So check the surroundings, call and care, but never forget consent. If they're unconscious, you can assume that they're consenting. Or if it's a child, look for their parent if they're present to ask consent from them. Otherwise, consent is also implied. Remember, 30 chest compressions at a tempo of 100 to 120 chest compressions per minute. Think of another one bites the dust. And then open the airway. Their mouth should be perpendicular to the ground, I think is how it was explained. And give 2 rescue breaths, even if their chest doesn't ride. Raid time now, 1 raid. Thanks, everybody. Bye. This has been your host, Rhea Fukunaga, signing off. Bye.